The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. Greetings to you, music lovers, thrill seekers, and conversationalists all across the fruited plain. We are here live from Right to Offend Media, and we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Lots of big news stories coming out. First of all, though, I want to say hello to Max and Mortheous, both my co-hosts. And hopefully Max isn't dying tonight.
Nope, just smoking pot.
Well, that's, that's good.
I can see the confusion though, because I was coughing a lot.
So too deep of a pull then.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I figured like we're doing a show, we're trying to be a show, and I liked the clipboard bit, right? And so I've been hard at work with our crack staff here and our writing team. And I got for you today a top 10 list.
Ooh, that's exciting.
But we got news, right? Things happened. Stuff has occurred, Sam, and the people, they need to know.
Oh yes, they absolutely do need to know about that. So semi-breaking news for those who aren't aware, and for those who are. Sadly, another wildfire has broken out in California, in Los Angeles, and now it looks like it's near. Another one has broken out near the Hollywood Hills, and so. Our thoughts and prayers go to everyone affected there.
I get some people are quick to like, oh, it's California, and I politically disagree with people, but man, these wildfires, they're in all across that state. They don't care what somebody's political affiliation is, for one, and I mean, it's just awful. Just like the hurricane devastation we saw in the South this year, this is a particularly bad wildfire for California, and so my heart goes out to the people affected by it.
Yeah. Also, I do have, there are friends of the show who listen who are, also in California, and so. A few of them reached out to me today to let me know that they were safe and sound. Unfortunately, two guests who I was planning on having on the show more towards the beginning of this year let me know that they're going to have to postpone because they had to evacuate. And unfortunately for one of them, it seems like, they may have lost, their home and, all their possessions. So I don't want to say who it is, both out of respect for them and also
the upside of the story there, whether whoever it was, is that they are physically okay, because obviously fire is really dangerous, and it's awful when somebody loses everything like that, and in a lot of cases they're not even going to know for a week or two.
Right. Yeah, so thanks to everyone out there who has let us know that they're safe, and thoughts and prayers to the people in California. And as much as I hate to politicize things, Max, I mean, everyone else is doing it, so why not
there's a difference in like what I was saying is, I've seen on, maybe it's just internet stuff, but I've seen some ill will towards the people affected by the fire on Twitter, and I don't like to see that, because that's stupid. But criticizing the government and its role in dealing with this, and what they're prioritizing spending money on, I think is an important discussion. And so when you see the Biden administration releasing, I believe it was another $500 million in funding for Ukraine today or yesterday, I'm not sure if it was yesterday, either way, as these people are suffering right in California, everything's burning. People see that as very friggin' tone deaf. Those are, and here's the thing, Joe Biden, those are like your core base of voters. If not for those 55, electoral votes from California, your party got 150 votes in the electoral college, right? And think about the popular vote if you took out California. Like, this is your base, Democrats. What are you doing? You're letting your home base state burn while you send money to Ukraine. I don't even understand how that makes sense.
Absolutely,
unless you just don't give a shit. Because those people's homes burning down give a shit. That's their entire life.
If Democrats don't give a flying fuck about California, what do they care about?
Yeah, I mean, if you live in a blue state, you know it to be true. The Democrats don't give a fuck. But yet the voters in these states keep voting for them. It's insane to me. We saw a bigger shift in this election than I think we have since the 80s of people in blue states voting red. But man, they still make these policy decisions. Gavin Newsom, it seems like Sam's having some audio problems there, so I'm just kind of filling time for him. But
Right.
It seems like his priority isn't on the homes of the people that are burning down, Gavin Newsom, but rather on saying, yeah, we're doing things correctly. Don't worry. Immigration is great. We're going to bring more people in. We're going to build. And here's the thing. I don't know if I've talked about this, but a thing Democrats do is that they use an emergency like that to build new housing, and they build low-income housing to fill with immigrants.
Okay, then how about we fill all of Hollywood Hills with immigrant housing?
I think they would at this point. I think the political elite is completely detached from the Hollywood elite at this point, because they think they have them so wrapped.
Could
I don't
be.
think they give a shit. You notice they're shocked whenever one Hollywood guy is like, I kind of like Trump.
Yep.
Actually, I think that the political establishment in our country thinks that the Hollywood liberals are just such puppy dogs at this point for anything the Democrats want them to believe, that they don't even feel like they have to bother to get their vote.
Because most of them are.
Yeah, it's expected, right? Their vote is just expected. It's not, it's the same with a lot of black people, disabled people. You guys have mentioned this, Hispanic people. Democrats just expect their vote, right? Yep. They don't feel that they have to earn it. And that's why you saw record numbers of black people, Hispanic people, women that traditionally had voted, or even that did previously vote for Joe Biden. Looking at those numbers is kind of interesting. So you can actually see people that voted Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump.
Yep.
Now, those people exist. A lot of people would be like, that's crazy that somebody would make those particular set of votes, right? But it's not crazy. It's actually fairly common that people voted Obama, Trump, Biden, Obama. And they might have voted for Bush if you go push it back one more election cycle.
Right.
Yeah, people aren't that complicated.
I mean, hell, if I was politically active earlier on, I probably would have voted for Obama, but I wasn't. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. And Obama was basically unopposed at the time, right? John McCain said you should vote for Obama when he was running against him, famously. Right? So, yeah, it's people see everything is so politically divisive and toxic and is screaming at each other. And that's definitely a show put on for us by the big corporate social media companies and in the media. But the average person doesn't seem to actually exist in that bubble at all. Right? And that's why the average person would make those series of votes, whereas a lot of people who are in the political bubble can't fathom why somebody might vote Obama, Trump, Biden, Obama. Because that doesn't make any sense to them.
You mean Biden, Trump, not Biden, Obama?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a tough series if you think about it. But there he is.
Oh, random cripple
appears.
appears.
He's muted. Even better.
I apologize. My cable for my headphones just went out, so that was lovely timing.
Hashtag technical issues.
Yeah, I was just expounding upon how voters don't vote what people think they will.
Oh yeah, no, never.
Yeah. They vote for who's promising the best plan for the future, in my opinion. And you can say 2020 went a different way than you might expect for a lot of reasons. But when the future was the pandemic, they felt like the germophobic old man was a better pick. Well, that could be an argument that you make as well. But there are people that voted for Trump twice that also voted for Joe Biden. And that also voted for Obama at least once.
Yeah. Well, I think as far as the California wildfires go, one of the points that I was going to make before I lost audio, and Max, maybe you already said this, but like I said, I hate to politicize, the fires themselves, but as James Woods pointed out on X today, and by the way, I guess his home, was one of the ones that was, burned down.
Right. This is what I mean by when people celebrating California. Well, James Woods is, not a left-wing guy. And his home is absolutely being affected by this. So,
But James Woods also posted earlier today criticizing the mayor of Los Angeles for cutting, the budget of the fire department mere weeks before, this.
Well, that and they literally sent fire equipment to Ukraine in 2022.
That is also correct. They gutted the fire department, and now they're having the worst wildfires in LA history.
Yeah. So this isn't his tweet. This is from, for those of you listening, on the show, this is from the Unusual Whales. But James Woods tweeted this video. Basically, the LA mayor here, Karen Bass, is refusing to answer questions out.
She looks like a Karen, doesn't she?
Yeah. Well, she looks like a typical, I hate to say it, but, a literal social justice warrior.
What, the mayor of LA?
And so this was her response to, basically them cutting the budgets for the fire department and whatnot.
Citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
By the way, that's not like audio problems for those listening.
No, she's just
She's not
actually
talking.
Yeah,
literally with multiple microphones and cameras pointed at her, being asked questions, not just from the one guy you can hear, but you can hear there are other reporters at. So she's at essentially a press conference, whether it's, an official press conference or not, and she is literally stone-faced silent in him asking about these things.
Yeah, for those listening, she's she's basically looking basically
At the floor. In shame, which you should be ashamed.
She should be. Well, she's also like, her eyes are darting around the room, also like,
Looking to be saved by somebody.
looking to be saved, like, even like a couple of her aides that are like looking at her like, say something.
Well, this is common. I was talking about the like modern, political elite. They also don't. When you apply to be in charge of things, right? The implication is that you're going to be responsible for those things. But this modern leftist class of people, it's not only just with this, like you see it with their like videos of, oh my God, this is me at work and we're not doing anything. They don't want any responsibility at all, but they do want the important credentials.
They want the power.
They want the power. They want the title. They want to be seen as important. But when the shit hits the fan, is this bitch going to do, like, what is she doing? She's looking at the floor. Politicians of yesteryear, whatever you want to say, would very often, in a case of like a mayor, in a case of a fire, is going to be at the fire station leading the efforts the best he can.
Yeah. So to be fair, I haven't seen this whole clip. It's 2 minutes and 41 seconds long. I do want to see, because I haven't watched this. I only saw a little bit of it before I.
Right, but it's notable that she stood there and stone-faced silenced his 5 or 6 questions.
Yeah, no.
Even if she says something after that, it was good of you to kind of stop it there, because that's insane. You are the mayor, and you made that decision. This is what I mean. You made a decision that now put people's homes not only at risk, but they're gone.
Yeah,
At least try to justify
Lives are going to be
it.
lost because of this decision.
The fact that like she hasn't said anything and we're like 25 seconds into this clip speaks volumes. I do want to play the remainder of this just because I want to see if she gives like an answer at all, because I'm not sure. But if she doesn't, we'll, I'll cut it off eventually, and yeah, that'll be our answer. I'm predicting she doesn't say anything, but let's see here.
Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Still nothing.
No apology for them?
Looking at
Do you
the
think
corner.
you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Literally looking out the door.
I can't believe she's going to give a complete no answer like that. That's crazy. Yeah, she just walked off.
Hey,
For those listening, she just walked off.
Yeah, well, also...
Ed and Brian Krasenstein, if a fucking Republican did this, you would be fucking fuming.
Yes.
Fucking torch this bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. So also, for those listening, it appears that she did this press conference from a jetway at LAX or something. So they mentioned she
It's because, she was on a trip while this was going down.
Yeah, so... I I know I said I was going to play the entire clip, but I think if it's just, her being followed into LAX, I think we kind of know then, what the...
If it was just caught off guard, she would have said something by that point. This was I'm not talking to a reporter, which, interestingly enough, you know what's a better thing to say, Sam? No comment.
Anything.
No comment.
Yeah.
Like a word. It's the same effect, right? No comment. I don't have a comment at this time. I need to get to my office. I don't really have all the information, and so I can't comment at this time. Thank you.
Right.
At least blow smoke up somebody's ass.
Yeah. At least pretend you care. These people's homes are burning. And Nero fiddles.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom is not much better.
How'd you know who I meant by Nero?
Well, I mean, we were talking about slimy characters here, Max, and who is slimier in California than used up cars salesman, Gavin Newsom, or
I'm sure there's somebody slimier in California, but none of them are more visible.
Oh, well, let me rephrase, Max. No one in the government of California is slime. I'm sure in Hollywood, in Hollyweird there might be, but
he sweats butter. Did you know this?
I heard
that's why he always smells like freshly cooked chicken made with Crisco.
Well, I didn't know he sweats butter. I thought he I heard he sweated motor oil because he was a used car salesman or something like.
Well, that too.
Like that.
And then with the combination of his natural like brimstone odor, it's quite a stench.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well,
it's easy to miss because they're in California,
Yeah.
I'm shitting on California as it burns, Sam. Am I a horrible person?
Well, I mean, no, you're shitting.
Look, if you voted for this, it's not that I don't feel bad for you. It's that why.
Right. Yeah, that is a legitimate question. Why? Well, and Craig actually, I think Craig is probably watching. So hello, Dr. Craig, if you are in fact watching. Craig just DM'd me this clip here, actually, speaking of Governor Newsom.
Well, I saw his mouth open, so he's at least one step better than the mayor.
Yeah, but he's doing the thing all politicians do, which is, opening up, the joke. How do you know when
insert foot?
Yeah. Well, how do you know when a politician is lying?
Right, but I said she could have got more of a pass if she did that.
Right.
She didn't even do that. She's just like, fuck you. You don't get an answer. I don't care whose house is burning down, which is really dumb because in this case, it's not just like the poors where they can gloss over it. These are some notable celebrities with money whose houses are burning down as well. Right? So the class action suit is more likely to happen and make a dent in people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the point. This is the point where it's not just affecting the poor, where they should actually be like trying to help and nervous.
Well, let's hear what Governor Newscum, as some people are calling him now. I've been calling him that for years, but let's see what he has to say for himself.
We're in the public safety phase.
I hate to even ask this question, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, it's people are literally fleeing.
Well, you can respond to it, but you won't because you're a bitch.
Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't.
I mean, come on, Gavin. You've politicized.
Fucking say it.
the whole thing. Also, I love how
He's politicizing it literally in that clip.
yeah. Also, like, you know, I know it's CNN and I know it's Anderson Cooper, but still, shame on and because you know that they were going for this exact shot of a, you know, of a house literally burning in front of them. You know that was like optically staged to make it look more dramatic.
Yeah, that person's home that's burning down and all their possessions and things they care about is a prop for his future presidential campaign that we all know he's planning on doing.
Well, you know, I hate to make well, no, I don't. Let's just hopefully at least let's hope that Gavin's you know, political career is just as toast as California is right now, because it deserves to be.
Hey man, that's not nice, because Gavin Newsom, we hope that he's torched to the ground, but California has burnt down before, and California has been shit before. California will come back from this. I'm the one person that's actually hopeful on that I think there is a future for California. It's going to take a lot of work, but if there's one place historically in America that was willing to put the elbow grease in, it was California originally.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not.
We're red.
It's not even the red, right? Like the pioneers that came out there and built that motherfucker, and like I specifically mean San Francisco burnt to the ground, right? And was leveled by an earthquake. So California could come back from this, okay? But it's going to require them making different and better decisions than they have in the past. Not only their politicians, but their voters as well. But we could see it. I'm not going to hold my breath for California making a giant turnaround in the next few years. But you could see a long-term comeback for them. I mean, New York had a comeback. Now they're right back to where they were in like the 70s in terms of violence and things. Out where I'm at, I was just watching a thing, Sam. Most gangsta cities in Massachusetts, and I've lived in 3 of them, and they were all in the top 5, and one of them is number 1. And it gets rougher out here. It was better in like the 2000s, 2010s, you know, despite even the economy, like crime was just kind of down, generally speaking. And now that kind of shit's up again if you live in any city, red or blue, but especially blue. You know, you can't have your wallet in your back pocket no more. It might get picked. You know, it's like it's rough out here.
I want to go to the chat real quick. Maxine comments regarding the LA mayor. Does she think it makes her look good just ignoring them? Honestly, Maxine, I don't know what she's thinking.
I think that she's not good at politic talk, like I said, because like I would on the spot do exactly what I said. Like I don't have everything in front of me right now. First off, my heart goes out to everybody affected. She can't say that. If you can't say that, maybe you shouldn't say anything, I guess.
Maybe the thing you should say is I resign.
Yeah, I resign. You can't say, okay, I'll get to my office and then make a statement. Hey, I'm just getting back right now. I'm not prepared for a statement. Anything like that would have not gone viral.
Right.
But they don't care about any of us, right? This is exactly what I mean. She wanted a job where she could exert her power, where she could be important, where she could hobnob with celebrities, where she could not do very much work. But she doesn't want the part of being a politician that is the downside, is that when everything literally is burning down, people come to you and say, what the fuck? And if you don't have an answer for that, you shouldn't run for office in the first place, in my opinion.
Right.
I agree.
You know, I think it's just, we're talking basic stuff here too. Like, if you can't, if you can't agree, especially in California or somewhere like Colorado, if you can't agree that the fire department deserves funding, and you're in an area that is pretty well known to experience, wildfires and stuff like that, yearly almost.
And every year they creep a little closer to them Hollywood Hills. Is it really a surprise they hit the Hollywood Hills this year?
No.
Nope. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
They've hit the Hollywood Hills before in my lifetime. And as much as I hate
it's almost like it's a cycle. It's almost predictable.
Yeah, and
if you had the funding for your fucking fire department, maybe you could have predicted it better.
Yeah, and I know that some conservatives are gonna, maybe give me crap on this or something, but like I'm gonna say anyway. As much as I dislike Jerry Brown politically, at least he and other Democrat governors in the past and other mayors of LA in the past had the good sense to say, hey, California is a wildfire area. Maybe we should, make sure that the fire department gets.
Also, Jerry Brown, to hammer on to your point, made deals with bordering states and the federal government to help out with those wildfires, which is something that Gavin Newsom has been very opposed to.
Yeah.
And again, Jerry Brown, famous establishment Democrat. So we're not exactly praising a right winger and just even the last big Dem they had over there knew this shit.
Yeah,
he knew it, and the same thing with the earthquake responses and stuff. Jerry Brown, you didn't hear about him getting criticized for responses to natural disasters year after year. Democrat, sure. Liberal as all fuck. I have all kinds of complaints about Jerry Brown because I'm like an old punk rock guy. Of course, he's like in a million punk songs making fun of him, right? But natural disasters is not one of the punk rock guys' points about Jerry Brown. But it very easily could be if you're writing songs about Gavin Newsom, couldn't it? Because he fucks up the wildfire every year. He fucks up the earthquake every year. He fucks up everything.
Well,
and let's not forget how he handled the pandemic. Probably one of the worst cases, except for fucking Cuomo. It's Cuomo and Newsom are probably the worst. And then what's the lady Whitmer? Those are the big three.
Yep. Whitmer, Murphy, Newsom, and Cuomo all should be up on fucking charges.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the trust of the people ain't there if you can't handle natural disasters. This is not a fucking partisan issue. People's homes are on fire. You need firefighters. They need supplies.
Yeah, well, the other thing
you don't sell the fucking supplies to a fucking foreign nation.
The other thing too, and David Sachs, said this too, but Gavin Newsom also, he's the one who said, "Oh, there's absolutely no funding to help with the homeless problem in LA or San Francisco." And yet when the fucking Chi-Coms came to town, the literal Chinese communists, suddenly we've got, $1 billion.
They didn't even help though. They just cleaned the place and kicked the homeless out and moved them.
Yep.
Right.
So
and Californians, like they remember that shit, Max. Like it might not seem like it, but a lot of
that's why I say there's hope for California, Sam, is because average dude isn't as stupid and blind as people think. What it is average dude doesn't vote enough and pay attention enough. But when you make them fucking pay attention, you can get change to happen. And California is making people pay attention. These clowns are basically laughing at you while your house burns down.
When you make the average dude pay attention, he's pissed off.
We actually
right. The last thing he wants is to pay attention to politics. He wants to watch his sports game. He wants to fucking watch a movie. He wants to drink a few brews with his friends and fucking relax on the weekend and go back to work. That's what average dude wants. He doesn't want to care about politics. Stop making him, because if you make him, he's angry at you.
Well, also, Max, there are a lot of people in California who, I don't know the specific numbers, but there are people in California who do watch, and listen to the show.
Right on.
But they've always kind of had to, keep the fact that they're, Trump supporters and, conservatives in the cloth, kind of on the down low, because, they work in the entertainment industry, or, they work in a field in California where it's not exactly like popular to listen to a show.
Right.
And ours.
In that position, it's actually hard to get invested in the politics because you'll find yourself accidentally talking about it.
Right. But
there's such a thing as having a power level too high for your own good, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And so a lot of them are going to tune out. I guess they'd listen to us because we kind of counter the extremist stuff a lot. But
yeah. And we
generally, you don't want to have extreme politics. I know this from working with musicians. Is the more I was paying attention to politics, the more I'd step on my own dick in conversation with people and offend people that I didn't mean to.
Right, and so a lot of them are, and so a lot of listeners. This is why I've started the show. Me being really sympathetic to the Californians is because I know people who are personally affected by this. But I will say this too. If there is one, I guess, silver lining to all this, it's that a lot of people who felt disaffected to speak on this before really don't give a fuck anymore about speaking out, because some of them have literally lost everything.
Yeah.
And so
if you can't relate, to their politics, whatever, right? But the people in California right now have this righteous anger towards government officials who have let them down. And I think that we can all empathize with that. That's what's happening, is these government officials are not only letting them down, but that woman refused to say one word.
Yeah.
One word. Your home is burnt down. You've lost all your child's belongings. You've lost priceless family heirlooms and things. And this woman cannot muster one word of sympathy or anything because she knows she's up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, because she cut funding right before it happened, knowing damn well that last year it came all the way from the north, all the way right down to the hills themselves.
And meanwhile, your governor is using your burning homes as a prop, and also like somehow
that home that was behind him, staged as a prop, Sam, was full of childhood memories. That home was full of a family or a people. Right. That was a home that he's just using it, burning down as a prop for his goddamn campaign.
And he's blaming this. He's trying to shift the blame on Trump, who, by the way, folks, has not taken office.
Right.
Yet.
He's not been sworn in yet, fuckers. It's Biden's fucking fault.
And what did he light the fire?
Well, that's how some of these people are acting, right? And they're still saying that, Trump's policies from the first, from the first administration are
in California, where they basically don't follow any of them and make their own laws.
Right, yeah. So originally California was saying, fuck Trump, we're not gonna follow his policies.
But when fucking disaster happens, magically we follow Trump.
Well, it's like you were getting at, Sam, and like Mortheous just hit on there. It's like it's enough is enough. They'll finally speak out. Maybe they agreed, maybe they disagreed with like the politics of the day. Okay, but it was acceptable. It was comfortable.
Yeah,
they're navigating this. Oh, well, maybe I got to deal with the trans bathroom thing, or maybe I can't talk about this issue because this particular company I work with would have a problem with it, that kind of thing. Okay. But now the problem isn't that. Now the problem isn't I'm going to lose an endorsement deal. Now the problem is people's homes are burning.
Yeah.
In a very populated area. And by the way, not too far away from where all the homeless people live. And
Right.
and if the fire spreads that far into the city, Sam, it could be one of the biggest tragedies in modern history.
And
If that fire gets into like downtown, South Central, and some of the projects, which is entirely possible, okay,
very much so.
you're talking casualties could see thousands, maybe even millions.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but
and this woman has nothing to say.
Right.
I'm stunned.
It could very well happen. Unfortunately, while we speak, actually.
How many people live in the city of LA, Sam? A lot, right? Like 40 million or something. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up too. Actually,
okay, 3 million. But if you include like, I guess I'm including like Orange County and like the whole surrounding.
Right.
It's a whole community. Like I think like 40 million people live in Southern California, and that's where the fires are. And they're all different kinds of people. And yeah, some of them are the kind of people you probably, if you listen to the show, don't really like, right? Blue-haired, cat lady, woke SJW types. And some of them are hard-working motherfuckers, and Trump supporters even. And they're just like you. It's a very big and diverse population, and I use the word diverse in the more textbook sense.
Yeah,
right?
In its proper sense. I mean, the other thing too, I think that a lot of people forget is, even if you're not directly in the path of the fires, there are things like smoke, damage and smoke inhalation. That's very
well, if your whole neighborhood burns down and your house is spared, the smoke damage in your house is gonna cost thousands and thousands of dollars to fix. Just the smoke.
Yeah.
Not one little hint of flame has touched your property. Electronics might need to be replaced. So there might be even structural damage from the smoke. It's not. It might end up your house is just condemned because the whole neighborhood burned down.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as people think. It's horrific, actually. There's children now that are going to be homeless, right? Like currently because of this. And again, it's just flabbergasting. This woman literally couldn't even muster, I'm really sorry for everybody affected. I'll give a bigger statement later. Nothing. She said nothing.
I really do hope that like people pay attention to this, and more than that, I hope that people, go to the ballot box in 2026.
Or
I
move.
believe.
Because at this point, if your shit's burnt down, it might be time to relocate. Arizona, Nevada, if you have family, get it out of there, right? Because these people are literally, like, for example, Gavin Newsom having lavish parties where they weren't masking or doing any of that shit, while literally was like putting people in jail for going to the park with their kids.
Yeah, that outdoor fucking luncheon that they had, like right after they told another party to shut down because they weren't important people.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we're not people. You see, we're just the serfs still in their mind. These people think that they are the aristocracy and that we are there to serve. And it's okay. What happens? Oh, it's a pity they lost some of their houses. Oh, that's a shame. But see, what's happening is literally the motherfuckers that are like on their sides' houses are burning down too now. You know what I mean? Like the aristocracy's houses are burning as well.
Well, and also like I hadn't thought of this, but a lot of people have like second homes in in California. Even like a lot of these folks who live in in like California, some of them have second homes in California too. And now they have nowhere to go because not only are their primary homes burnt to the ground, their second homes are also.
Well, and if you're homeless in LA right now, going down to the homeless place like Skid Row isn't even necessarily a good idea because they're like literally on the verge of evacuation themselves.
Yeah.
The mismanagement on all levels of this, like, one, they should have expected it. 2, they're cutting funding, right? 3, it doesn't seem like they were ever prepared for it to hit close to the city like this at all, which is insane because, like, that's the first thing I would be scared of, right? Oh, every year the wildfire gets a little closer to this big, densely populated city. But
let's not protect the city.
Do you know why? You know why they don't care? Because the first parts that it's going to hit is the ghetto.
Yep.
That's exactly why they don't care, in my opinion. It's because it's going to hit. It's going to hit like South Central. It's going to hit like Compton. It's going to hit like Inglewood. It's going to hit Skid Row. It's going to hit all the places they don't care about. But now it hit Hollywood Hills. Now you know what I'm saying? Now it hit the place they care about. When it was going to hit all those poor minorities they don't give a shit about, right? They didn't, whatever. Let's cut funding. But the wind blew it just in the right direction to hit the rich people house, and now people care. Yeah. Typical.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's California politics for you.
That's right. If you're poor, you don't mean. This is blue state politics. If you're poor, you don't mean shit.
And yeah, I'm really hoping that
we're a Democrat. We'll give you handouts, but fuck you if you actually need help.
Yeah. Yeah. And the handouts come with strings attached that make them more poisonous than you would like.
Yep.
Like, sure, you could get your food stamps, but you can only work these many hours, or we cut them all.
Yeah, you can't do enough to get out of the shithole that these handouts put you in.
Oh, you're starting to get ahead. Well, we got to start cutting some of this. Like, fuck. By exactly that amount. My favorite is Dave, actually. Famously, Dave Grady, the guy that I guess I gotta pick on the internet, has described it, and he's too stupid to like. He doesn't really understand what's at play, but he knows what's going on. Is that he says if I get a job, right, they're gonna take an equivalent amount of my money, my benefits, right, as the work I do, which is true. This is true. Did you know that?
When even a guy like Dave Grady can get it, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, he's completely retarded, but he understands that at that point he's just working for free. And so he just doesn't want to do that because why would you want to work for free? And he's not a genius, and he figured that out.
What's that say when somebody like Dave can figure it out?
Yeah, because that's the incentive. Well, Dave will figure it out just kind of as raw as possible, where people smarter than Dave don't even really see it for what it is, you know? But if you go and you try and you make something better, like he said, he actually got in trouble with it because he didn't file the proper paperwork and stuff. And it's like Dave is literally on disability because he's on. I don't know what he's on disability specifically for, but he's on it essentially because he's retarded. And like, of course, he's not going to know the paperwork to fill out, you know. And so they penalize him for not doing the proper paperwork or whatever, and he just thinks it's easier to just never even try to get a step ahead, right? Which is the point. It's meant to keep you there and keep you from having the disposable income to do something with yourself. The old rat race. Actually, do we got other news stories?
We do. So
Anything better than people's? By the way, people whose homes are affected that you know or that are friends of the show. Seriously, my heart goes out. Like I said, that's terrible. But let's talk about something a little less dire.
Well, speaking of things that are a little less dire and actually somewhat funny, as suggested by the title of tonight's show, I don't know how true this is, but I'd like to think it's true somewhat. Apparently, Justin Trudeau was so earth-shattered by Trump's victory that he shit his pants and then resigned as Prime
So it's not
Minister
completely
of
far off,
Canada.
but actually, the real narrative is even better than that. That one would be good enough, but it actually has very little to do with Trump in the sense that, well, it does, but it doesn't. So the economic advisor had told the Trudeau administration to stop spending money, and they were like, "Nah, dog, we got guardrails and shit, you know." And she was like, "Yeah, you went through the guardrails. We're spending way too much." And he printed like 8 times as much money as like ever before. And she's like, "Yo, dog." It's basically like the head of the Fed for Canada, more or less, okay? And she's like, "Yo, dog, you're printing way too much money in a economic inflation recession kind of deal." And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, bitch. I got this. We'll be fine." And then she's like, "No, seriously? You're spending way too much fucking money. I'm calling a session of parliament." And he's like, "Nah, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm Justin Trudeau. What the fuck you think this is? We gonna spend all the money we want." And she was like, "Okay, well, here's the session." And so they brought him in, and Trump's been lambasting him, talking about tariffs, so that didn't help his case at all. But then he came in and he had no idea how economics worked and is basically the laughing stock of their political elite now. And so he resigned in shame for having spent them into one of the worst deficits in Canadian. I think it might be the worst deficit in Canadian history in a matter of months.
Commie's son didn't know what economics were?
By the way, he did just win re-election somewhat recently. So him resigning in shame, it's not just Trump. I'd like to think it's just Trump drove him insane and he quit. But no, it's worse than that. It's what we're talking about. It's mismanagement of a lefty politician of the basics of money.
Yeah.
And Canada is in a dire straits. That's why Trump talking about he's trolling them with the annexation stuff and all that. But the thing is he's like, they're literally about to collapse financially. So he's not saying it out of nowhere. Like they're literally, he spent a lot of money, Sam. Trudeau spent more money than you and I can actually conceive of. You know what I'm saying? Like picture $40 billion $1 bills, Sam. That's how much he spent in like 6 months. In Canada. Now, I know in America we spend way more than that, but Canada has way less people and way less GDP.
They have a lot of forest up north.
Well, you got to pay for that Canadian healthcare somehow, Max.
That's right. And that's the other policy that he's put into place that's super popular is to fix the healthcare problem. Sam, did you hear about this? Did you know about this? What they're doing is they're telling poor people to kill themselves. And wait, it gets better. It gets better. I know that could be daunting, Sam. If you're a poor person and the government says you should kill yourself, you're like, man, but like, I don't have a gun. I'm in Canada. I can't get a gun. And like, other methods like drugs can be expensive. You see, Canada's got you covered, Sam. You go to a doctor and you say, "Doctor, I am mildly depressed and kind of poor." And they'll be like, "Sir, have you heard of the MAID program?" And you'll be like, "Why? What's this, doctor?" "Well, side effects may include you fucking dying and that'll solve all your problems. Oh, really? That sounds great. Yeah, we have these state-of-the-art suicide pods that we can put you in. They play nice, comfortable music as they put you to sleep forever.
Like in Futurama?
Yes, Canada has suicide booths, but guess what? It's better than Futurama because they don't even cost a nickel. It's free, Sam. Can you believe this? What a deal.
Damn, if Bender were only there for that.
Well, like, all I know is that like Geddy Lee from like
You guys would both be heavily pushed to the MAID program. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially after my incident in fucking August.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No more. I
What would be dead?
I hate to say this, buddy, but like, you know, given your condition, although I'm not much better, but like, they would.
Given what just happened in August, I'd be dead.
Yeah. Given your condition, they would probably be carting your ass off there without even your permission. For all we know.
Have you considered the MAID program? You're like, no, I wouldn't consider that. And they're like, oh yeah, well, we considered it for you, and come along now. I mean, seriously, is Canada basically back to like roasting the cripples on Tuesday? Is that where we're at?
Seems like it.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Probably twice on Sunday.
Well, no. See, the cripples is just Tuesday because there's not enough to keep the ovens roaring all week. The rest of the week, it's like depressed people, poor people, fat people, skinny people. Who else could you reasonably convince to kill themselves, Sam?
Okay.
All those people kind of sort of cripple.
Okay, Mortheous. I'll tell you what. I know I said that I wouldn't take the position for Prime Minister of Canada, but if it saves the cripples, then damn it, I'll step in and
Ricky Berwick can be your number 2.
Oh well, I want to go that far. I would put you in as my number 2 more.
I'm just thinking of how many like middle-aged dudes, this is their experience, right? Is they go to the doctor, Canadian, obviously. They go to their doctor and they're like, doctor, I got this problem. And the doctor is like, oh, well, talk to my secretary and we'll schedule you in for 6 months from now, because that's how their healthcare works. But then in 6 months later, he's like, doctor, I got this problem. And the doctor's like, what seems to be the problem? And he's like, well, I got this cough, man, it's every once in a while, I just cough a lot, And the doctor's like, oh, I think I have the perfect solution. Have you tried killing yourself?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've heard stories, like, legitimately, I've heard stories of people, like, thinking that they have cancer, right? In Canada, they go in, and it's like stage 1 or 2, which is easily, like, it's treatable. But
it's not even chemo levels at stage like 1.
Yeah, but like Canada's healthcare system is so bad that like by the time anyone can go and get treatment, it's like
grandma's been dead for 6 months already.
Well, it's like stage 3 or 4 where, you're kind of like, so something that's like easily treatable metastasizes to the point where it's like, oops, well, we thought that was treatable, but turns out you're terminal now and you're kind of fucked. So
have you heard of the MAID program?
Look,
seriously, I mean, how monstrous is it that the government of a country that we consider like a first world nation is subtly telling like people to kill themselves over being poor or sad?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am glad that you brought that up, because it's not like Canada is a third world. Well, I mean, maybe Trump is right. Maybe it is a third world shithole.
Getting there
now. Like,
hey, my biggest video ever on Rumble was about me calling Trudeau a fascist authoritarian, and he is. And so I am very happy to see him resign, and he deserves it for what he did to the economy. Sorry, though, Mort was trying to say something there.
Yeah, go ahead, Mort, man.
No, we're good.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, I think you know, I think it's good that Trudeau has stepped down. Hopefully they can get someone better. Which, by the way, someone. No, I don't know much about this guy. I really don't know anything about this guy, but I guess there's like a Canadian, like, the way he's been described to me is like a you know, a Canadian Donald Trump. Pierre
Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah, Pierre Poilievre, who I don't know much of him, but
I've watched some stuff about him, okay, because of that exact reason. The Trump comparison is maybe both fair and unfair, but I liked how I've seen him handle that. The reporter mentioned that to him, and he's like, "Well, what similarities do I have to Trump?" And the guy's like,
"What page have I taken?"
Yeah, what page have I taken? Kind of like that's the right answer. No, I don't think. I think the only thing Trumpian about him is he's saying, "Let's try something different."
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring that up, Max, because my stepdad actually sent me this very clip, which I was trying to find earlier.
A number of your own comments and actions have been characterized as dog whistling to the far right.
By who?
By a number of different experts and a number of different people who work in this. Okay, well, I think it's been established that this is a concern. Are you trying to court the far right vote?
Who are these experts? You say that there are experts who are saying this. Who are they?
My question is, are you trying to court the far right vote?
I am sorry. Your question seems to be based on a false premise. You can't even tell me who these experts are. It sounds like it's just a CBC smear job. I know that Justin Trudeau's supporters are so desperate to distract from that because his political career is falling apart. So we're seeing an attempt here to distract and protect Justin Trudeau from his extremely unpopular carbon taxes and other failing policies. But we won't let him or his or others distract from that reality.
A number of your own comments and actions have been characterized as dog whistling.
Yeah, he handles reporters like that a lot.
Great.
Where he says like they do this and it's so easy to see through, and maybe a lot of people don't know the trick, I guess, that's going on here, but it is like your natural response is the right one. So what the reporter is doing here is, like he said, it's a typical smear job where they're asking you a question based on their opinion, but they don't want it to seem like it's their opinion. They want to give it an air of validity and make it seem like this is what the people are thinking. And so they frame it like, there are many people who say that Sam has been seen running down the street. And this, by the way, that's a true statement. There are many people that have claimed to see Sam walking or running, right? And so if I'm that, this is why it's a perfect example, Sam, right? I'm that dishonest reporter. I'm going to say, Sam, many experts have attested to seeing you running down the street. Do you have any comment on this?
Well, you know, Max, who are these experts?
And see, this is where I'm better than Shmuley, because mine's based on a glimmer of reality. I mean, better than the reporters, because I'm going to say it's Shmuley and oh my God, there's a couple other people. Craig, I think.
Well, is Shmuley really credible though? I mean, you know, come on. Shmuley's just trying to save face for the fact that he hasn't, you know, that he hasn't showed up for RTO board meetings for about like a fiscal year, you know.
Yeah, but he was saying that before then.
Well, that's just Shmuley being Shmuley. I mean, you know, what else?
Okay, well, many experts believe, Sam, that it is possible, you know, that you run down to the street
many
on
experts
PCP.
and their dino nuggies.
Yeah, so is it possible that you do PCP and then run to the store?
I mean, what's the evidence for this again?
Many experts believe, Sam.
Who are these experts, though?
Yeah, and that's how you deal with it. See, like they say that the experts thing to give it this air of validity, so that it seems serious, so that you feel like backed in a corner. Or they say many people are saying, many people believe. But it's just that reporter. And the best way to shut it down is this guy. It's almost a textbook example of like who.
Well, it's throwing, it's basically like throwing, the question right back at them, right? More realistically, like something that Mortheous and I don't want to speak for Mortheous, but like for me personally, there are lots of people who will actually say something like, well, many disabled people feel aggrieved about X, Y, Z, thing. And I'll be like, really? Well, who are these other disabled
Who are these
people?
disabled fuckers?
Yeah.
Sure as hell didn't ask me.
I mean, the thing is you can take it to the next step, and maybe those people do exist. You can still deal with the question even then, because it's like, okay, well, I understand those disabled people's concerns about X, Y, and Z, and they're entitled to feel that way, but I feel this way, right?
Right.
But they're trying to take all that away by framing it in this isn't my opinion. This is other people that you can't, anonymous sources that you just can't confront and you don't know.
Right.
And the problem I think he has in that particular clip, okay, is that he did ignore the question, but he should have. This is what I would do differently. You answer the question on its own, detached from all the precursors, because it was a question you could slam dunk on anyway. So what I mean by that is the question was, well, some people believe, are you dog whistling? You're dog whistling to the far right. Experts say, and he's arguing about all that. But then the final question is, are you dog whistling to the far right? And the answer is something to the effect of, I don't know what that means.
Right. Well, and I saw another clip that's very similar to this. This one I can't find, but it's essentially, basically, as I understand it, reporters do this to him, I guess, a lot. Like, ask this exact same question, him dog whistling to the far right. And there was a clip. It's YouTube probably pulled it for all I know, knowing how YouTube goes. But I did see this clip where Pollier basically asked the reporter, okay, so can you define what the far right is for me?
Hey Sam, I found it in our chat.
Sorry, Mort, what did you say?
I found the other interview that I think you're looking for. I'll put it in chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Send it in the message on X, please.
Yep, just did.
Thank you, sir.
You're talking about the Apple interview, right?
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
But otherwise, it is an expertful takedown, in my opinion. It's just at the end, address that they're saying you're dog whistling the far right. It's like, well, that alone is see, you can't answer that question. You see, it's a trap question, because what is the far right? What do you mean by dog whistling? And then what am I doing specifically that you would consider dog whistling? You need all of that information to really answer that question properly. And they're not going to give you that information.
Right.
Yeah. So engaging them in a basic Socratic dialogue by asking questions like that does really shut them down almost instantly.
Yeah. Well, so, and apparently that method of, Socratic engagement as your, apparently that's now been branded as, Trump speak, which I love, that, like, and I mean, look, like you said, that
Socratic dialogue has now been, it's just Trump, I guess, huh?
Yep.
Oh, how Western society has fallen. Play the
nobody
clip.
else is smart enough to use it.
No, I mean, listen, Max. I agree with you like wholeheartedly. Like, yeah, it is a shame that like classical, Western, philosophy and thinking has been reduced to Trump. Like, you and I both, like, I have a MAGA hat here.
Hey, did you know, Sam, have you heard about this? Did you see this? He's orange.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Breaking news on the Whitfield Report, Donald Trump is orange.
And did you know that he's bad?
I had heard, but I wasn't sure till now. You're telling me he's bad? He's orange and he's bad. Sam, the orange man is bad.
Well,
did you ever hear this?
Did you know that?
I mean, I've only heard that since I was 20 when Trump first started running for office. I'm also hearing that Mr. Pierre here is basically just like, French Canadian Trump.
The first thing you can tell by the fact that they call him like Trump of Canada is that he's probably not like Donald Trump at all, except that he's not bullshitting. That's what they mean. That's Sam. When they're like, he's like Trump, it means he's not bullshitting.
Well, yeah, there you have it. Anyway, let's see how close Trump he actually is.
To actually find young people to do work, and of course, housing is a problem, and healthcare is a problem, as was mentioned earlier. The hospital here gets closed quite frequently.
Casually
Nothing
eating
to do
an
with
apple.
vaccinations. I don't believe it's a doctor issue. It's more a shortage of doctors. So, what do you do in the meantime? I mean, you've got lots of plans for building houses, etc. But in the sort of immediate spectrum, what do you do to
create a Blue Seal test to quickly license the 20,000 immigrant doctors we have in Canada? Many of them are prevented from ever working, and they give up on getting a job as a doctor, and they end up taking low-wage work for the rest of their lives. I'm proposing a simple Blue Seal testing standard that would apply right across Canada. Take the test, get the license, get to work within 60 days.
Okay, and I mean that obviously you're going to encounter some opposition from the College of.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Trump at all. In fact, it sounds like he's the opposite of Trump, except for two things. He's proposing a new no-nonsense idea, and he's not bullshitting. But that idea is inherently pro-immigration.
Yep.
Just wanted to throw that. I don't think that doesn't sound like Canadian Trump to me. It sounds like a populist. And that's, I guess, the thing that people are confusing. Any populist is now Trump.
Yep.
But he's a left-wing populist. I think I've heard enough of him that I think he's like a left libertarian, which is kind of right-wing by Canadian standards, admittedly.
Yeah. Well, by Canadian standards, yeah, he definitely is, I guess right-wing. Which, that's the same thing I've actually said about Jordan Peterson too. Like, Jordan Peterson actually doesn't seem like that like far right as people like to label him as.
But to defend it, he's taking an inherently pro-Canadian position.
Right.
It's not a pro-America position necessarily. But for Canada, yeah, he's right. Like think about the problem he's talking about. There's 20,000 unlicensed doctors that we brought in here as immigrants who could be doctors potentially, but they settle for working at a convenience store for the rest of their life because they can't get the license. I could see, like a populist would say, let's get them licenses in 60 days, get them to work. That is a very populist message. Is that a Trumpian message? Not at all.
No.
So I think people are getting it a little confused. I can see why the comparison is made, right?
Yeah. But
it's very far off base in terms of policy.
Yeah, well, again, Max, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think, and again, David Sachs pointed this out at the end of last year on the All In podcast. People are starting to conflate populism with Trumpism, just as a whole, which, the two are not mutually exclusive at all. I don't think so. You could argue that Trump had some very populist ideas, but, there are left-wing populists as well. So,
and I'm not going to say that this is a bad idea for Canada. I don't know. I'm not Canadian, and I'm not as intimately familiar with their immigration issues and such, right?
Yeah.
But to me, this does sound like a very populist, very centrist kind of position. And he's running to be prime minister after a very far left, very authoritarian guy. This is kind of probably the right message. And that's maybe why people see it as compared to Trump.
Yeah.
Because there's this we had the far left. Now we're going back to something else. And in Canada, it's no surprise that this guy's kind of a centrist.
Well, someone also brought a point, and I believe this is the part that that is kind of getting clipped, so I'll play that. But someone also brought up the point of the Overton window, that things in Canada have gone so far left that any shift to the right of Trudeau is going to seem far right, quote unquote.
Yeah. Like I said, my top video ever on Rumble was about his crackdowns on the trucker protests. He's seen as a left-wing tyrant by many people. So if this is the alternative, it's no wonder that he's refreshing. And you can play the clip. I'll shut up.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to play the whole thing, just, to see, how...
Most people have only been watching the first, 5 minutes anyway. That's where the real zingers are.
Yeah.
Of medicine, etc., across the provinces.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that issue?
We push forward. There's not easy street leads to a dead end. The best hard roads lead to the best destinations. We're no longer going to accept that this or that gatekeeping bureaucracy stands in the way of obvious common sense solutions. It is unacceptable that 20,000 doctors can't work in Canada when we have a massive shortage. And when people come to me and say, yeah, but this or that clerk or bureaucracy is not going to be happy, that's life.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of vested interests and bureaucracies that are going to be very unhappy when I'm prime minister.
Okay. On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways,
I don't really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so yeah. You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this
and
country.
there he
We
did
don't have.
better. Sam, he answered, right? He ignored the precursor, like I said, and just answered the question, right? Common sense. That's why they should trust me with their vote. All your other shit's bullshit. You want to ask your question. What is the question without all that other bullshit about, well, you're with the inclinations of the people believing that you think that maybe the blah, 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 blah. What's your fucking question? Oh, well, why should people trust you with their vote? Oh, because common sense. And you notice he did it without hesitation, too.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Shout out to Chibi in the chat.
Oh, hey there, Chibi. Hope you're doing well. Thoughts and prayers to everyone in California, as we discussed at the beginning of the show. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly how, I'm not.
Now it's Trumpian just to question people's bullshit premises.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it is. You have to just accept all their presuppositions. Presupposition, like they're presupposing, right? He presupposes that there are people out there that believe you're just like Donald Trump. And because there are people out there that believe you're just like Donald Trump, what do you say to those people that believe you're just like Donald Trump? And it's like, well,
how do you prove that you're not just like Trump?
Yeah, they never even give you the point to say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And you notice the reporter, even when he's asking those questions, he keeps trying to barrel it through. You're not supposed to ask questions back, you see?
Yeah.
That's what they mean by he's like Trump. And then when he finally does get down to policy, it's one, yeah, he does lean towards what I would consider common sense, centrist populism. And two, not like Donald Trump at all, though, because he's very Canadian and Canada focused.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think Canada could do a lot worse than this guy.
Well,
they did for the last how many years with Trudeau?
They've done worse than this guy.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing though too, Max, is like, nobody here lives in Canada, right? So, and I feel like Canada is different enough from America in a lot of ways. It's kind of like almost unfair to compare the two. I do know that we have a few Canadians who do listen to the show, and if any of them would be
Canada in its left-wing kind of sensibilities that you see also underneath has very libertarian sensibilities.
Well, yeah. In fact, when I was at YaleCon a few years ago, there were a lot of actual Canadians who came to Tennessee to meet Ron Paul, which I found.
Yeah. There's a lot of Canadian libertarians that I've known over the years, and they tend to have slightly different politics. There was this one guy, he went by wealthy peasant because he was a college student, and you know how that is. He'd get fucked, and he would talk about it all the time about just being a basic bitch libertarian is far right to the Canadian press.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me at all, unfortunately. But
this guy he's handling reporters masterfully. I guess that's what's like Trump. But again, it's like they say that about Javier Milei. I'm sorry, and I don't think he's like Trump in that way either. He's like almost an ANCAP.
Well,
for one.
Again, though, Max, this is the whole thing. Like, I feel
it's all about how they talk.
Well, yeah. In that sense, I guess, like, yeah, that's what they're making comparisons to. And you know what? Let's face it. Like, Trump is an international face, and he makes it like very, I guess, easy because he's such an imposing, presence.
He's not the only one that just wants to say what he's thinking.
Right. And that's the thing, Max. We're so used to politicians just saying nothing of substance and blowing smoke up people's asses. We're not used to a Trump or a Pierre
Yeah, or a Javier.
Yeah.
Or even I'll give it to Emmanuel Macron of France, where I don't agree with a lot of his politics, right?
A politician that actually speaks plain. Holy shit.
But yeah, Macron speaks plain, and sometimes it's not nice, right? Sometimes it's, hey, fuck you, poor people, but he says it. And, that's, I think people are hungry for raw and truth and authenticity.
We need more politicians that speak plain. Whether we're going to like their opinions or not is irrelevant. Fucking speak plain.
Yeah, everybody's suffering. So, like, this is the thing, big shout out to an inspiration of mine, Kurt Doolittle. I'm always talking with Kurt Doolittle, you might see on X sometimes, about putting on the work boots. Like, the millennial and Zoomer generation wants to put on their thinking caps quite often, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done too, you know?
Yeah, that's something that we have talked a lot about here on this program too. Okay, Trump won the election. We still have a lot of work to do. So,
the project is just starting, right? The election is the first part.
And I for one am excited about that, Max. But
I am too. But Sam, I got this.
Yeah.
I got a list. I didn't even tell you guys the topic yet, right?
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, that's all I've got for stories tonight. What's on this top 10 list that you have for us, sir?
Okay. So I figured, in the vein of we've been doing a bit more. I always see Sam, you kind of see yourself as Rush Limbaugh. I kind of see you as Johnny Carson. I think the reality is you're somewhere in between. And I was thinking,
thank you.
We're a bit more like late night comedy these days than a hard politics show. It's never really suited us anyway. Of course, the hard politics can usually be found on just the Whitfield Report, where you interview people. But we like to goof around. And I did those awards last week. And that was like an old radio bit too. Just put together a stupid award show so that you can call your own show award winning. Frankly, they didn't get the joke.
Which now we are an award-winning show. Right. And also, Craig Mansfield won an award on the show too, which I was able, he was able to shove that in Steve's face last week on the Fake Untitled podcast. So now I'm guilty of entering into the whole Craig v. Steve feud. But you want to know who the real hero of the show is Evan, for hard wrangling 2 engineers.
I don't know. I find myself on Team Steve more often than I would like, as much as I love Craig. Steve is just entertaining.
But both of them are.
Yeah, but Steve knows how to get Craig's goat.
Oh yeah, he totally does.
Which is what made that's half the fun of the Fake Untitled podcast. Like I said, it's such a great name. I was trying to come up with something similar. Nobody liked my idea last week, so we won't rehash that. Anyway, I was thinking of old radio and late night talk bits, right?
Yeah.
And what's more classic than the random ass top 10 list, right? Johnny Carson,
Johnny Carson,
Conan O'Brien, even. And so I was like, man, what could I do? And I asked my wife, I was like, what's a topic? And so you can blame her for the topic. Hey. And then you can blame the answers on totally not me. It's an anonymous board of writers came up with it. We went and surveyed people and went and did some surveys, got a little bit of data, and this is my, the anonymous board of writers top 10 ways to impress women. Are you ready, Sam?
Oh boy, this ought to be good.
Okay. Well, apparently they're backwards order because number 1 is I'm going to read last. So we're going to start with number 10. Number 10, say hi. We did the research, Sam. The number 10 way to impress a woman, say hi. Number 9, show her your half-finished prison tattoo. This makes them melt, Sam.
That's a good one. Question though, what if you're a good boy that doesn't have half-finished prison tattoos?
Well, you got to get you one, motherfucker. What are you doing? I don't know. It's hard to. It's at a weird angle. Anyway,
what if you have tattoos that are finished but also not from prisons?
Well, they got to look like they're from prison, obviously.
Yeah, mine are too good.
Well, I got the one. I gave it to myself in 9th grade in math class, and they took my Indian ink. And some bitch, Sam, that Indian ink or India ink or whatever it's called, it's still there. Anyway, number 8. Pretend to listen to whatever it is she's going on about. This is pivotal, Sam. You always got to be pretending to be listening to whatever it is she's going on about.
I feel like I know I've certainly done that. That's probably
right.
why I'm still single. Partly.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes it's tough, right? Because sometimes she be going on about it, and you're just like, what the anyway. Oh yeah, that was terrible. She was mean to you at work. It was a 20-minute story, though. Number 7, don't be fat. This one is highly important, and one that if you have this problem, is that you got to just fix it. So don't be fat. Number 7. Number 6, get into a verbal altercation with a monkey at the zoo.
Oh my God!
Have you tried this, Sam? Have you done this before?
Can it be a gorilla?
Yeah, could it be a gorilla?
It could be. No. But in my particular case, Sam, there was one of those little tiny cute monkeys. There was like 5 of them in a little cage. But one of them, he came and he went to my wife and I was like, hey, fuck you, monkey. And I flipped him off and I started yelling at him. And then he flipped me off.
Yeah, I actually
that was one of our first dates, Sam. Yep. I got into a yelling match with a monkey.
Yeah, I actually have a somewhat similar story to that. When I was...
You got in a fight with a monkey?
Well, yeah. It was kind of over a woman's honor too, to be honest.
There you go. Yeah, it always does. Those motherfucking monkeys, dog.
Well, so just to set this up, so she wasn't my girlfriend. She was just a friend of mine. But I went to the zoo once with a lady friend of mine who happened to be a cheerleader at the time. This was senior of high school. And those gorillas, I certainly do see where the people think we where we descend from them, because this gorilla took an instinct to her. And there's no other way to say this. But the gorilla, oh God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. The gorilla started to jack off to my friend. And I had words with that girl through the glass, like
while he was jacking off.
Well, like, hey pal, put that back into your furry pants, or whatever.
About to fight a gorilla because it's jacking off. This is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
So obviously number 6 is good. Get into a verbal altercation with a monkey or gorilla. Will amend it at the zoo.
Yeah.
Did he stop jacking off, Sam?
I mean, no.
No. Did he finish?
Oh my God.
Well, if he didn't stop, then he probably finished, right?
Probably. I didn't see it. Let me just put it that way. So I don't know, but like, maybe I'm.
Well, why would a gorilla listen to you anyway? The monkey didn't listen to me. He flipped me off. He's a monkey. He's tiny. Say I could crush him. That gorilla could crush you.
Oh yeah, that girl didn't give a fuck. That girl probably could have like abducted my lady friend too if he wanted, and yeah. Anyway,
number 5, drink way too much, smoke way too many blunts, and then throw up on yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's true story, Sam. It's like the people that did this research know me or something. Apparently this works for others.
So that's what happened this past New Year then. Huh?
New Year, Sam, that's the story of how I met my wife.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So this was long ago.
It was a hot day. We were having a party for my brother's graduation. There was a keg right next to me while I was grilling burgers, and I ate a couple of burgers and they were delicious. But it was hot, you see, and the keg was right next to me. Those are the two important parts. Hot, keg right next to me, and I kept drinking cups of beer out of the keg, not realize. And it's Bud Light, I should point out. So it's like the pussy. It's literally like gay beer now.
Yeah, it's water basically, right?
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, like 20, 25 of them. And then I went upstairs to this barn we had where my brother's friends and I would hang out and smoke pot. And we smoked a lot of blunts. I don't remember how many. And they left to go hang out. They didn't drink 25 beers, Sam. That was me that did that. And then I was up there for a long period of time to where it was now dark. And I was laying on the floor and I threw up on myself at some point all over. My lucky shirt was an Anybody Killer shirt. I had it. It was my favorite shirt. It was Anybody Killer. And he had a gun to his head and a hatchet. And I used to wear that shit and freak people out. And it said fuck on it. And but I threw up all over it. That was the last bit of luck of my lucky shirt, because then my wife came up with my younger brother, and we got to talking, and I told her the reason that I wasn't running back down is now. It's not because I'm drunk. It's because my shirt's all thrown up on, and I didn't want to run shirtless through a party full of women and teenagers. So that's how I met my wife. Number 5, drink way too much, smoke way too much weed, and then throw up on yourself. This is how to impress women, number 5. And that's only number 5, Sam. We got more to go. Number 4, act literally retarded in public.
It's not an act.
Yes.
Have you tried this? Have you done this?
Well, yeah.
I sure have. We'd be at the mall. We'd be at the mall, and I'd be like, Maxine, I love you, don't run away from me, please. And people would buy my act, dude. And they would look at her like she was the devil incarnate. This is the funniest fuck. Anyway, yeah, act literally retarded in public. Number 3, top 10 ways to impress women. Number 3, stare at them like you're hungry, pretending to listen to what they're saying.
I've got that one down pat.
I bet you do.
don't lie, and don't lie, Mortheous. You know, I know you. You do the same where the goth girls are concerned too, sir.
You gotta pick what you stare at, though.
Yeah, you gotta be selective.
You get in trouble.
Yeah, but even if you stare into their eyes for too long, they see through you, and yeah. Anyway, though,
number 2, top 10 ways to impress women: stuff a whole bunch of marshmallows in your mouth at once.
Oh God.
This works.
I
did that. I also did that the same day that I met my wife. You see, I stuffed I think it was 10 or 15 marshmallows in my mouth.
Dude, it was 20.
It was 20?
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. That's how you do. See, she remembers this. It's been almost 2 decades. And are you ready, Sam? Top 10 ways to impress women. No, we'll recap real quick. Say hi. Show her your half-finished prison tattoo. Number 8, pretend to listen to whatever it is she's going on about. Number 7, don't be fat. Number 6, get into a verbal altercation with a monkey at the zoo. Or gorilla. Number 5, drink way too much, smoke way too much weed, and then throw up on yourself. Number 4, act literally retarded in public. Number 3,
that was not an act.
Number 3, stare at them like you're hungry, pretending to listen to whatever it is they're going on about. Number 2, stuff a whole bunch of marshmallows in your mouth. And the number 1 way to impress women, Sam, whip your dick out.
What the fuck?
This is what it says, right?
I mean, according to Twitter DMs, that's accurate.
See, it says whip your dick out. That's we did it, Sam.
Yeah. Brilliant top 10 list there.
What do we got? Chat says someone give that monkey some lube. For real. I think the gorilla needs the lube more, huh?
Oh.
I listened to this woman. Roman says, I listened to this woman for 5 minutes, and then she wanted me to fuck her at the basketball court. Probably, yeah. You listened. See, Sam? The list is already proving itself to be true. He listened, took 5 minutes. Wait, you listened? You were supposed to pretend, bro. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, did it pay off, Roman? That's the question.
Well, it did, because it doesn't matter how it ended. She wanted to fuck. So it worked.
Yeah.
Salute. So yeah, that's top 10 ways to impress women. I'm sure that they'll all work in every case for every guy every time.
I mean, you know, it's worked for some people on this panel for sure.
Well, I mean, a couple of those, it's almost like I wrote it. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, you know,
but again, it was written by the
crack, the crack writing team we have here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, by that he means the crackheads I hire. If you just pay them in crack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. That totally, works.
Crack thing.
So
now my wife's mad at me because she helped me. She wrote it down. I mean, I said all the things. She was definitely not okay with some of my answers. She came up with the topic, though.
Well, but to be fair, your argument with the monkey was far more wholesome than my argument with the gorilla. So,
The monkey.
There was a lot.
The notion that he wanted to eat me out, dude. That ain't wholesome.
Yeah, I mean, he started by suggesting oral sex. And I was just like, fuck you, monkey.
Okay, well,
and he's all little cute. So like that's the thing, Sam, is like, yeah, yours, the monkey's the asshole. In mine, everybody thought I was the asshole. Because they didn't see the monkey give a little gesture at my wife and then look at me like, fuck you. And by the way, Sam, I go back, that monkey flips me off.
Yeah, well, maybe we are descended from primates.
Like I've got like a lifelong blood feud with that monkey, Sam. Fuck that monkey.
Well, you cockblock that monkey, Max.
That monkey that monkey disrespected me in public. He's lucky I didn't kick his fucking monkey ass. Oh, fucking monkey.
Yeah.
Yours is a gorilla. I mean, you probably couldn't kick its monkey ass, so you just kind of have to watch and turn your eyes so you don't see it.
Sam's kind of crippled, so it's not going to do much ass kicking.
Yeah,
rather than fight for your lady's honor, you just kind of slowly walk to the next exhibit.
Yeah.
You're not fighting I'm not fighting a gorilla, Sam. I've always said I'll fight pretty much any man on earth, right? But a gorilla? I'm not stupid.
With that being said, justice for Harambe. Never forget the gorilla who died so that Trump could save this nation, or however that 2016 meme.
Harambe is just sitting there in his cage being a fucking gorilla, right? And then this delicious looking little child wanders in. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, I'm going to eat that. You know? He picks him up and he's going to eat the and they're just like, bang, and shoot him. And it's like, man, brother can't get no respect in this country. He's just trying to eat.
Do we actually know that was like happening though? Do we actually know that Harambe was trying to eat the kid, or?
I don't know. I just like thinking like a monkey, bro. It's like a delicious little morsel has wandered into my.
Well, you know that
they don't usually come in here, right? So.
No, but for all we know,
you think he's gonna make it its best friend? And that's the reason they shot him, Sam. Is you gonna take that chance? Are they gonna be best friends, or is he gonna be lunch?
Well, that is a fair point.
Right. So. If it's your kid, you would not be like R.I.P. Harambe.
Oh no, none whatsoever. I just
you'd be like, shoot that motherfucker now. Now. 5 minutes ago, shoot that motherfucker. What are you doing?
I do somehow like 2016 was wild in the sense that, like, that was how the year started, and then the year ended with Trump like winning the election, and somehow people have correlated the two as like one led to the other somehow.
Well, the spirit of Harambe, whose lunch was interrupted,
oh my god,
has led us through. You know what's funny, Sam, is my wife has the opposite thing of Kamala, so I know that it can always get a reaction out of her if the joke involves some type of harm coming to children. Whereas, like, Kamala will always laugh at that. My wife will always get viscerally angry about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, your wife is also a human being too.
I mean, Kamala laughs at anything horrible.
It's true, but especially dead kids. Like Kamala finds I have watched a lot of Kamala, and I knew this before even like most people knew much about her, because I watched her on the Senate floor. And if there's one consistent thing about Kamala Harris that tickles her funny bone, it's any mention of dead kids, whether they're blown up, whether they're kidnapped, human trafficking. It doesn't matter what horrific circumstances you're talking about. Kamala Harris cannot help but laugh uncontrollably at times at that topic.
Well, her and Hillary Clinton both have that, like...
Why did I get hit for Kamala Harris laughing at dead kids?
But look at what you got hit with.
I got hit with...
Matt,
I got hit with gummies or something. Dope. Oh, they're Cadbury mini eggs.
Maxine, what was that for? I mean,
for all the dead kid jokes, she just couldn't get at me until now.
And it's nice because I gave them candy.
Yeah.
If you're Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton, I mean, I guess dead kids are pretty hilarious. But God forbid you're a Secret Service agent who pats down, Huma, then you'll just get called a cunt by Hillary, as John Guarnieri pointed out.
It's probably a good thing that I wasn't part of that interview, because I'd want to ask the obviously dumb joke question that's way too over the edge but still funny. Was Uma Abedin, was her Secret Service code name Frazzle Drip?
I actually did ask. Shout
out to those that know. If you don't know, don't look that up.
Is that Is that similar to? Well, I mean, anything with Huma is just hilarious in and of itself. As soon as John says Huma, I'm like, oh yeah. Anthony Weiner's wife, and he was like, oh yeah, so you know about that then. By the way, R.I.P. Andrew Breitbart, the man who, well, shit.
Wait, he died? Shit.
Well, I was going to say Andrew Breitbart exposed Anthony Weiner, but Anthony Weiner did that himself.
Anthony Weiner exposed himself multiple times all over the internet.
And, yeah. And, friend of the show, John, was there for that entire
Isn't it funny that there's two politicians with the last name Weiner and they're both, like, obsessed with being degenerates? What are the odds? Like, I feel like if your last name is Weiner now, you shouldn't be allowed in politics, maybe? Uh-oh. He disappeared.
Should you even be allowed in polite society?
Yeah, like, you should, like we should say, look, you could be Weiner, okay? But there's certain places and things and jobs that you're just, like, not allowed at. Or you could change your name. Like, we understand you're born a Weiner, okay? But we need you to become more than a Weiner. You know, otherwise we might have to monitor your activities a little bit. Because we got a problem with Wieners running around, you know?
I mean, people change the name all the time, right? That one seems like, if you're going to be in the public spotlight, that one seems like an obvious one, right? So,
yeah. Kind of like change your name to, like, Biggest Dickus or something, you know?
That one would actually be like, I would actually approve that. That one would actually be funny. So, anyway, though, speaking of guests,
we got Biggest Dickus?
Well,
that would be sick, because I would be laughing the whole time.
You know, in a way, we do have Biggest Dickus. And who do I mean by that? We have Steve Stratton as our first guest next week.
That begs so many questions that I'm not going to ask, Sam.
Well, you know, he
is a great friend of the show, author.
Yeah,
glad to have him back.
He's one of the biggest names in the Throw Author Zone. So how so I had a great conversation with him yesterday on everything from his new book, Caribbean Harvest, which actually comes out on Monday. So
nice.
The interview will be coming out on his publication day as well. And we actually had a great conversation about everything from, writing. And also Steve, that first interview I did with him was great the first time. I recommend everyone go and check that out. But just for people who, if you needed any more convincing, Steve, he dropped some rather spicy takes on how he believes the government should be reformed and where bureaucracy needs to be, cleaned up in certain places. Spoiler, the whole entire thing needs,
It sounds up my alley, Sam.
And boy, I asked him about the Secret Service and his whole opinion on how they've been handling things. And, let me just say, Steve doesn't swear, and he didn't swear in this interview. But by the same token, he didn't need to swear because he had some pretty choice words for the people running.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've had multiple like high level security. Shout out to Andrew Nelson, friend of the show, who worked high level security in New York police for 20 years. I think he said. We've had multiple now Secret Service agents on the show since the assassination attempt, as well as other things, and none of them have good things to say about how it's been handled. Every single one of them says the same thing, essentially. This is not how we would handle security.
You know what's shocking, though?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And these are some, to be quite honest with you, as public figures go, Sam, you've had some of the top experts on this particular subject on your show the last year. And they all have a consensus is that what's going on now with the Secret Service is not working. Accountability is not being held up to the proper standards. That's what they're all saying, essentially.
Yes, not just that, ladies and gentlemen, but the sad truth is that really the Secret Service has had a communications breakdown problem.
Oh, it comes from the leadership on down, yeah.
Well, not just that, but since the Kennedy assassination, really. So, in over 60 years, the Secret Service literally has not learned anything about...
you can see the Reagan assassination attempt was a similar situation.
Wrong. They've learned how to fuck up more.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like the Reagan one was handled much better. I was because Mort's right. If you look at what happened with Reagan, he got shot. He got right into the limo, got off the scene immediately. Right. Secret Service was not in a complete panic the way it was when Trump was on stage. And I get it. Trump was on stage, so it's a little different. He wasn't right next to the limo or whatever. And also he didn't want to run, which is a little different. Reagan did immediately get in. Reagan got shot better than Trump got shot in a sense, right?
Well,
Reagan got hit pretty bad, and it's partially why he won the election.
Yeah.
But since then, there has not been one foul up until the Trump thing.
Well, I think people...
And that wasn't a foul up because she was just in the crowd. Like, they couldn't have... There's no way the Secret Service could have prevented the Reagan shooting.
Right. Well,
they absolutely could have prevented the Trump shooting.
I think people forget too, Max. I had forgotten this, but Reagan, as Steve pointed out, Reagan was actually getting ready to leave an event in DC at that hotel. Yeah. So he was already
waiting by the door, so he was en route to the limo. Yes.
Which
I'm sorry, the lady. And fun fact, it was what's her name from the Manson family?
Oh
no, she shot Gerald Ford.
Right.
Reagan was the other dude. Either way.
Yeah, John Hinckley.
Hinckley. Yeah, Hinckley. Yeah. I was thinking, Ford, the lady that shot Ford.
Yeah, who
Manson family member. I mean, this happens on occasion. This is why we have the Secret Service. Obviously, a crazy shows up, tries to take a shot at either. I mean, because obviously you mentioned JFK, but let's not forget that his brother was also fucking shot in the head, point blank range, by a crazy guy with a gun in the fucking back of a hotel, as he was the nominee for the Democrat nomination for president.
Yeah, and again, a consistent theme here, Max. Among all these shootings, there were areas that should have been covered that weren't.
Right.
The the hotel door in both the Reagan assassination attempt and in the RFK assassination, there were areas that should have been covered that weren't.
And like I say, we've talked to security, like top tier security experts, literal Secret Service agents, literal, like, I'm running this for the NYPD, and then me on the lowest tier of security, okay, as a fucking door guy or a bouncer, okay, all know that you clear the fucking exits when the VIP is there. Like, that is, like, that's why everybody has that same reaction, Sam, including me, from the bottom to the top. Because if you've ever worked in any level of security, the very notion that you're not going to clear like basic bitch points of interest around the VIP is insane to anyone that's done security. And I didn't want to, like, I'm not trying to put words in any of their mouth, but they all paint the same picture of like confusion as to how this could even happen. And then dismay at like the communication breakdown. Where was the police that are talking on the local level are talking to people right there saying, hey, there's a guy up there, right? Where was the communication? Where was the radio room? I've asked that question. Remember, I've asked that question to a couple of these security experts, and they all were like, yeah, exactly. Where was the radio room? Who was involved? Who was coordinating between the locals and the federals and the Secret Service? We still don't know, by the way.
No, and that was something else that, like, again, not to give the interview away, but that was definitely something that Steve brought up. The fact too that the Secret Service, a lot of people who are younger than me probably don't know this. You and Mortheous probably do, but the Secret Service, do you know what their primary tasking is, gentlemen?
Well, counterfeit money originally.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're part of the Treasury first and foremost. And Steve, well, he has his opinions about the role of the Secret Service, what they should do, and if there's anyone whose opinion I trust on the Secret Service, I mean, I trust John and a lot of others, but as far as someone who has experience, who was there, for a long time, Steve certainly was, and his take on the Secret Service is quite interesting. It's a shame that this show isn't bigger, because I even think that Vivek and Elon, certain people at the Department of Government Efficiency might do well to hear this interview. So
yeah, I mean, like, if there's that one kind of issue that's been distinctly ours this last year, it's been this issue, the security issues. And talking to literal security experts, they might even, be humbled by us pointing it out. But I mean, like, they're all of them, several security experts have been on the show this year whose records speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Who write books about their work and speak about it publicly. So it's not exactly, stuff they're not supposed to say. And their criticisms aren't, crazy right wing anything. It's criticisms of like the way the bureaucracy is run itself.
Well, I also think though, Max, and like not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think one thing that is good about our network as a whole is, right, like a lot of these authors that we've had on, they go on most of the podcasts, and the other shows mainly want to focus on the books primarily, which is great, but we tend to, I think at least,
we're very conversational.
We're very conversational. We allow people to open up and talk about the whole spectrum.
Also, like what I like to do is I like to ask questions that might be out of left field or right field.
Yeah.
Just to get something different.
Right. Well, exactly.
I would say, like, we did the awards or whatever, but one of my favorite shows last year was having Andrew on discussing police stuff. Whereas, like, even people who watched it pointed out they didn't see us coming to as much common ground as, because I'm obviously very vocal police accountability activist, right? And yeah, but here's the thing they didn't understand, I guess, just because he's a cop, he is too.
Yeah.
So of course we had a lot of common ground, and the problem I feel with a lot of like the police accountability movement after BLM is it turned into fuck cops, and that's the exact wrong mentality if you want actual change.
Well, again, similar thing happened with last year with Steve Stratton and I. A lot of people, I think that because Steve was part of the Green Berets and part of the DEA, that he was totally for Reagan's version of the drug war, and that he thought that just saying
which I thought was clear from the interview itself that wasn't the case, but apparently it wasn't to some people.
Well, again, Max, people just like people assume that you and Andrew wouldn't agree on much. People also make the assumption that Steve and I might not agree on the drug war, but as it turns out, again, that's a whole thing of, the drug war. Reagan in some ways was very, did do some good things on it, but there were also areas of it that were critically misunderstood and mismanaged and have haunted us for the last.
I mean, let's not beat around the bush. It was on his
45 year.
The CIA smuggled in cocaine on his watch into the inner cities and started the crack epidemic, right?
Yeah.
And you could say the argument I hear most about Reagan is that he didn't know that, and that sucks. That's not a good defense. He's the president, and his major policy was drugs, right? And on his watch came in one of the worst drug epidemics, and it was done by his people behind his back to fund some of his, like, the Iran-Contra and stuff. That's my biggest criticism of Reagan.
Yeah, if he didn't know, why didn't he know, and what didn't he look into?
Yeah. And these are always the kind of questions, right? We come back to those same questions, is the nuts and bolts of how these kind of things come together are way more complex than a lot of people think, right? And so when you start talking about accountability, like the idea of holding Fauci accountable, I get it. I do. He's not going to go to jail. And we should probably just like fucking forget it.
Fine, then I want him on house arrest for the rest of his life.
He won't even get to that point.
Oh, I know it, but I would be satisfied with that at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'd be satisfied by is what they're actually planning on doing, which is lifting the immunity on these pharmaceutical companies regarding the vaccine and other therapeutic drugs. That we need to do. Like, he's never going to be held accountable for what he did, because think of all the people that died because of Dr. Fauci. It's impossible to actually hold him accountable in this earth, and you can hopefully believe that there's a next life where he does get held accountable. But what we can hold accountable is, since these corporations want to be people, they can be held accountable for their bullshit too.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I might have taken the vaccine, and I'm not one of these raving anti-vaxxers, but at the same token, I'm not going to sit here and deny that it caused people injury, or at least they have the perception that it caused them injury. And for the government to say that they have no right to redress that grievance goes literally against the Constitution. And so, yeah, lift the immunity thing and and my other big thing is free the J6ers. Of course, you know.
Yeah.
Day one-ish needs to be done. Trump really needs to come through on that.
Which by the way, if you heard my show from Monday, January 6th, I actually covered how your friend, one of them, got arrested for just being at J6.
I know quite a few people who are arrested for just being there.
Yeah.
And for various that didn't go to jail but got slapped with like a trespass charge that they had to pay a fine for. And in the case, like I said, of Billy, or Playboy the Beast as he's known professionally, Billy Knutson, he had a felony prior from when he was a kid. He's a gangbanger, right? When he was young, and he stole a car, and then I got him a felony. And of course, if you have a felony, then these little trespass charges blow up, right? And so they got him a plea deal to take 6 months because they told him you're going to do like 10 years because he's a Proud Boy.
Yeah.
Of course, you would take the deal because he's got kids at home.
Or Enrique, who they convicted for not even being there.
Not even being there. And I'll tell you this, like, this is why, Sam, you know, even when at first you were kind of uncomfortable with, like, I was openly defending the Proud Boys, but like, I think you've seen over time, like, the people I'm defending literally did nothing wrong.
Well, yeah. The reason
you just didn't know because you weren't like around a whole bunch of Proud Boys.
Well, my association with it's funny because you and I come from the Proud Boys from kind of. We've both kind of involved. See, the Proud Boys, from when I was kind of around, it was a joke that Gavin McGuinness started.
Yeah.
And Gavin McGuinness, I know that some people are gonna think, you know, I'm an asshole for saying this, but Gavin's kind of an asshole to me, so I don't care. Gavin did,
like, I mean, his whole persona is being kind of a dickhead.
Yeah, Gavin did abandon and fuck over the Proud Boys themselves. So
yeah, that's the Proud Boys. I'm more like, the first time I met in real life, actually, at Straight Pride in Boston.
Yeah,
and I met Enrique there. I met Amazing Lucas. I met G-Notes Justice. That's still my boy. And Billy wasn't there because Billy's a West Coast guy. Billy's just I've known forever, right? Because he the underground music scene. And he wasn't a Proud Boy when I met him. He was a horrorcore rapper for like legit, you know, all cards on the table. I met him through like the Juggalo scene or whatever. There's a couple of guys like that are like MAGA rap now. And that's the thing I think that the media and the elite don't get is there's this like underclass appeal to Trump too.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
It's a sort of like an appeal to a hope for a time that we maybe saw as a better time, indiscriminately defined as some point in the past, you know?
Yeah.
And that maybe we could have something like that again.
But, you know, I did a show, you know, on Monday where I talked about, you know, J6 and if anyone hasn't watched that. I also, for those who don't know, we both mentioned Rush Limbaugh earlier. And for those who don't know, his entire DittoCam archive of the show is now basically free on his website. You used to have to subscribe.
That's cool.
To which I did for years when you know, he was still hosting.
He was doing it before pretty much anybody too.
Yeah. But his show is you know, free to watch now basically, and he did an episode on the day after January 6th which was one of his last shows. And for anyone who hasn't had the chance to watch it, I highly recommend doing so, because he correctly predicted how a bunch of conservatives, he didn't mention the Proud Boys specifically, but he mentioned how people would be unfairly prosecuted for J6. He also predicted.
Well, he probably figured also like Stuart Rhodes, Oath Keepers, got what, 30 years. That's insane.
Yeah,
I've met him way back in the day, and the idea that he planned some kind of insurrection is insane. He's just like an old patriot boomer.
Yeah. He Rush also predicted the mass deplatforming of conservatives after J6.
But what else did he predict, Sam? We watched it on the last time we watched the Rush clip. He predicted hope, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he predicted the rise of MAGA, and as I said on Monday, I'll say again, I really do wish he were still around, because I would love to just see his reaction to Trump winning again, because it would be great. And I do like
you can almost hear his voice, can't you?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure to tell you that Donald J. Trump has been elected the 47th president. You can hear it in his voice, you know what I mean?
Yep.
With the joy that he would have. Yeah. If you listen to Rush long enough, for sure, you can't get his voice out of your head sometimes.
Nope. and I do like Clay Travis, and I do like the guys who took over his slot. They're great. I actually met Buck Sexton many years ago now, briefly at a conference, and I do think that he's a great, no one's ever going to replace Rush. They do a great job, but man, it's hard to listen to, traditional radio now with all of the ads and whatnot. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not familiar with the people you mentioned who took over the slot, but good luck to them. That's the thing, is I'm only focused on our stuff now and not listening to what other current people are doing if I can help it. Because I don't know, we're having fun. We're giving our own authenticity seems to be the ticket.
Yeah. When
Except Rush, for the times when I'm full of shit,
which is hardly ever these days, and I'm not being facetious at all.
Yeah,
but that needed to be taken.
It seems like Max is right is a thing that's coming, true more.
Right, and when the robot men take back the power from the lizard people, you're gonna be like, oh shit, he wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
Just gotta watch out, because there's still the snakes around, the snake people.
Mm-hmm. Well, there will always be the snake people around.
Yeah. It's because they fit in real good, and they can get in real small places.
Mm-hmm. Gotta watch those snake people. But anyway, so we've got Steve Stratton coming up on the Monday show for next week. Mortheous.
Kicked out.
Bits and Bones.
Yep, Bits and Bones on Sunday.
And any gaming news?
On Monday there's a video game reveal from the developers that have left CDPR by a new studio called Rebel Wolves, and they're revealing their vampire game on Monday.
Nice. That'll be cool. And then
I hope it's full of diversity. That's what I really would like in the video game.
Equity and inclusion too.
Oh man, and some representation.
Give me a wheelchair vampire and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Give me a mentally impaired vampire. That's what I like about those old Fallout games and stuff.
Edward Cullen?
There used to be representation. If you give yourself 1 in intelligence, I felt like seen,
But you couldn't be heard because you couldn't talk.
Nice reference there, more. Yeah.
Gaming news.
And then
WWE Raw might have been seen by 10 million people for the first time since like the 90s. And AEW got the worst TV show of the year award from me. There you go.
Again, Max was right. So, and then
next year.
And then Sandwich Makers Saturday nights. And
it's probably not going to be a Stranger Things episode again, is it?
I'm talking about wrestling.
She's going to talk about wrestling. Oh, geez. There you go, guys. Everybody's going to hate it too because she likes the baby faces and doesn't like the heels, and all y'all motherfuckers are like so deep on being marks that you can't even wrap your brain around it sometimes. That she just genuinely likes the good guys and doesn't like the bad guys and wishes harm on them because she's like an old school wrestling fan from New England. She's brutal.
To be fair,
he wishes harm on Liv Morgan for real, dude. Like, I get scared.
Yeah, well,
Maxine wants to trip a bitch downstairs.
Yeah.
She don't like you messing with the goth girl, I guess. That's what it is.
Yeah, well then
and then Rhea won, and the Undertaker fucking comes out to like big up her. My wife like lost it.
It's the Undertaker.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think about Hulk Hogan getting booed, Sam? You heard about that? Hulk Hogan got booed. You know why? Because it was in LA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, people are thinking, oh, what? This is like news now. It's like mainstream news that Hulk Hogan got booed. It was in LA. I'll tell you what, put Hulk Hogan out there in Dallas, Texas. Put Hulk Hogan out there in his home state of Florida, and he's not going to get booed. Wrestling nerds and lefties don't like Hulk Hogan. Wrestling nerds for all the wrong reasons, because they like wrestling for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And lefties because he supported Donald Trump. It's simple as that. He supported Donald Trump, and it was LA.
Although, like, shout out to our buddy Jimmy, and also other Craig, Navy Craig, who are like the two based wrestling fans that both Moore and I know that listen to this show. Even though oftentimes it conflicts with one of the wrestling shows that's on Wednesday nights. So, it's just a
TV show of the year.
It only conflicts with AEW.
I don't think I gave that the worst fucking TV show of the year, Sam. It's in our time slot, and also as a wrestling show, it's been very bad. But like, it's in our time slot.
That was I figured you gave it the worst TV show of the year because it was the worst TV show of the year.
But also, it's on Wednesday night.
Right, and apparently
it makes it even worse.
Yeah. How dare
fucking
they
trash?
How dare they take our time slot?
Billionaire fucking trash.
But hey, we probably get more viewers than they do, realistically.
Oh, damn. Sam's dropping bombs. Yeah, so that's
I don't believe AEW and NXT go head to head anymore, so
yeah. It's not even close. NXT's like pushing 2 million.
No, I meant as far as the nights they're on.
Oh yeah. NXT moved nights, and then Vince McMahon left, and then everything in WWE has just blown the fuck up because Vince was holding it back, obviously.
Yeah.
Plus, merging with and this is the thing about those fans booing Hulk Hogan. I'm not sure if I said this on the show tonight, but those fans booing Hulk Hogan are retarded as fuck because the company itself, WWE, is a merger with UFC under the heading TKO, which is an overtly Trump-supporting organization with multiple members who are now moving into positions within the Trump cabinet.
Yep.
So if you went to a WWE show, you just put money in Trump's coffers almost directly.
Well, also,
so if you're doing Hulk Hogan because he supported Trump, you're the retard. You're the mark.
Yeah, and also
you supported Trump.
Well, and also, like, ever since WWE, like, did the partnership merger with, UFC, UFC is, run by Dana White, who, for anyone who,
Trump shows up to the big fights all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he'll show up in WWE events. I guarantee you he'll show up at, like, WrestleMania or something. He's like, he had to not for a while though because Vince was his tie. Well, he's not like buddy with. This is what I understand. He's not like they don't hang out. He didn't know. He didn't know Vince was shitting on heads. I don't think Trump would approve of the head shitting.
No, well, like Trump likes playmates, which is something that he and I have in common. But I think
he likes many women.
Heads is a little
many beautiful women.
Much for him. So
he likes many beautiful women.
Little much for both of us, actually.
They love him.
So they do.
Mm.
So anyway, though, anything else we need to announce, or I think we covered about all of that. So.
You're not doing the OnlyFans.
Oh, God.
No.
Toss that back and forth, but I guess...
Only feet.
No. We're not doing that. Thank God for Rumble, though, allowing us to stream and Rumble.
I mean, I get you. You just, I'm just telling you, I've explained to you, there is a market in gay pornography. Anything else tonight, Sam?
Oh, okay. Oh, suddenly now Diff wants feet from me. So,
$100 comes before the fee, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee and no refunds.
Yeah, pay up, Roman. Also, like, in order for me to do that, I would literally have. Okay, what was that for? He
get hit by a Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay,
gotta go.
Nice.
Yeah, you mean you don't want to see feet that are Maxine?
Oh.
No, I think it was my gay pornography joke.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ah.
I always try to work that in at least once an episode to say gay pornography.
Gay porn feet.
But anyway, folks, we will talk to you down the road. Thanks for tuning in. And, thanks for listening. God bless everyone.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.